So to find Anmian, you first have to find gallbladder 20. And gallbladder 20, we haven't learned yet, but we have to learn it today. It's one half the distance from the tip of the mastoid process to the center line. Half the distance from the tip of the mastoid process to the center line, and it's underneath the base of the skull, right up against the base of the skull. You actually needle past the base of the skull with it, sometimes an inch or an inch and a half deep. I typically no more than an inch deep on this. And you have to be careful you're not aiming for the foramen magnum where the spinal cord comes out of the brain. But typically you aim toward the opposite eye with gallbladder 20. Now that we have that for a landmark, Anmian is half the distance from there to Sanjiao 17 underneath the ear, in that hole underneath the earlobe. So you go from gallbladder 20 to Sanjiao 17, find the halfway point. It's on the back of the mastoid process, and that's Anmian. And I used to needle this more or less perpendicularly, but somebody taught me to needle this along the bone toward the tip of the mastoid. Just insert it and needle it toward the tip of the mastoid. I find that seems to work a little better. You don't go very deep, maybe a quarter inch or 3/8 of an inch in that direction. So transverse insertion is what I'm using now, but you can needle it perpendicularly. And bilaterally, you would needle it bilaterally. If the patient is lying down, it's not a problem. You just turn their head a little bit to needle it and turn their head back. And the same way on the other side. Gallbladder 20, the same way. I can needle gallbladder 20 with the patient face up. Sometimes I have them sit up to do it, and then I carefully help them lie back down so that the needles don't hit the table. And sometimes I just turn their head. Depends on their morphology and everything. So you can sometimes needle points that are toward the back, even though the patient is face up.